Hey pack leaders, this is here, our friends are already protecting families by protecting the pack. I want to do a review on Meet Kevin's thoughts on Bitcoin. He was just talking about how Bitcoin is here to stay, which is true. And now I've come to realize that with Bitcoin, it's actually something that you can actually own or have control of, and not have it take away cash flow. Whether it goes up, whether it goes down, you buy it. Once it goes down, it goes up, you still buy it. Just like a 401k, IRA, it doesn't matter. You're not going to use it right now, and in the long term, it's going to be around. And with it being only limited 21 million, and the amount that has grown, it's going to keep going. Now, based on projections on a logarithmic scale, Mike Maloney did a little plot on it. I kind of looked at his video, and the percentage-wise between time distance and the percentage of it gaining when it was at 20,000, coming down to 3, and then 3,000, and then still from that 3,000 going up to where's it gonna go next, right? Well, his projection based on that logarithmic scale is about 350,000. Okay, now I'm just doing a simple Fibonacci just on trading charts, whatever. I kind of expect to go to about 50,000. Well, with the recent move that it was up to 42,000, came down to 35, and then set around 37. I think that's the big old wham, kind of like shake out the week before it kind of springs up, goes boom, and then kind of thing. Right. So I still feel like there's still another full year of it going. Personally, for me, I have a few rules of my own that, hey, if it hits a 30% change based on previous trading patterns from last year, like, hey, maybe I should continue shorting it, right? And maybe it could go down, maybe it could just, who knows. But I'm still looking bullish for it, especially with all the stuff that's going on with more money printing and all this other stuff. And it's just the more of the devaluation of the dollar, and any fiat currency has end. So no matter what you look back in history, I don't think I've seen any fiat currency ever survive, right? I'd say ours is probably, I think we had a new monetary system since the Bretton Woods systems in 1930. So about 70 years, or 1971, and then another 30 years or something like that. So 1930, I believe, was one point where they switched to the Bretton Woods, and then on 1971 is when it actually cut ties and is finally going. And so based on that, about 30 to 50 years is probably the lifetime of a fiat currency, right? You can look at the charts on the Federal Reserve, how it's going parabolic, okay? But I know the inflation is low because you kind of it's gonna have a deflation. As we're all scared, we're kind of hoarding money for now, and as that inflation goes up, we're gonna all start to feel comfortable and like, hey, maybe we can start buying that computer, that car, that whatever, that house, and then the inflation starts to come out. Okay, a deflation followed by inflation, because we're all scared right now. We're tucking money away, buying Bitcoin and all this other stuff, right? And then the government's like, hey, what's going on? I'm trying to get this and pump up, but it's not working. Put more, And then once the dollars come out, it'll be maybe too late, right? Of course, people have talked about this, 10, 20 years ago, expecting it to crash, and it never did. And there's that Brent Johnson's, I guess I'm probably got his name wrong, on the dollar milkshake theory, on how that works, how we created more demand overseas for that dollar, which then gives it some stability back because there's demand for it. Now, if you create a currency like in Argentina, whatever, that you print, and there's no outside influence, that you can't enslave other countries to demand that dollar to pay your debt back, then you basically, inflate your own products, right? But if you have that carrot out there and they have to buy dollars to pay your debt, then it's all good because there's demand for that. So even though we have 30 trillion or 24, whatever it is, trillion in debt in ourselves, there's more trillions out there that the whole world owes us in those dollars, until we either foreclose on them, they say, hey, I ain't paying you, then we got to take them over, and then once we own them, then there's no demand for that dollar. So it's what's it called? Its supremacy is also its demise. We don't actually want them to pay us back. We want them to keep making those debt servitude payments to us that keeps the demand up. If they stop paying it, then that implodes and all this other stuff, right? So we gotta refi. Don't worry. Here's some more money you can borrow from us that you could pay us back later with interest that you'll never ever pay off, kind of thing. As long as I can keep a military base on your land, it's all good. So that's when that's how we were able to kind of juggle these plates. So anyways, going back to Bitcoin, yes. So I mean, governments don't like it because when you fight a war, it's a resource war. You can't go, oh, I can't build any more tanks because I ran out of Bitcoin. No, you print more until you win this war. It don't matter, right? So it kind of all started with Vietnam and all the other stuff, and to all the wars that we're in now, that we have unlimited supply of resources in a sense to use that. As long as we can get other countries to use our dollar too, then it's all good. Okay. And so for us, in consumer sense, we don't fight wars, so we don't need the dollar to kind of control and weaponize. And so we use our Bitcoin resource where it's limited, and as long as they keep printing, it's all good. We keep riding with it. Their dollar's worth less and less, then we can actually get more goods and services as that Bitcoin rises. Okay, so I'd say it's more like hey, just buy it when it's low, buy it when it's high, just chuck it away. That's your savings account. That I probably you would yield maybe more higher than any other U.S. savings account, right? Now, I personally myself is a bot trader. I've developed bots that can. This is just not a good look. Let me just change this up. There you go.
I'm warming up to.
Maybe that's a little better, but see what I do is like I definitely trade this on and off, and as long as the coin's going up and down, what I need to do, we'll trade it and earn from it. Okay, so with it, using this is a test account right now, but based on it, we're just constantly in and out, in and out. Of course, you could be 10% down and 10% up. It don't matter, but we have techniques here where if it does pop off violently, guess what? There's a little bit of an order hiding behind it to reverse that direction. Okay, so there's kind of little strategies that we picked up and learned that, hey, it doesn't matter where it goes, even though I need to take that loss, but if one of these big old bars pop up, guess what? It'll probably cover that loss and end up, profiting on the other end. Okay, so kind of takes experience. Observation is just like anything you get into real estate. You probably know how to negotiate. You know where to find money outside of banks, and raise money and create a financing, all this stuff, right? So it's kind of the same with crypto, where it's like, hey, you kind of know a few things. Hey, it's all good. We'll go short with it, go with the direction, market order, or can limit it. And based on the price action, we change it up. We're always, the bot's kind of learning and changing, and then we'll kind of move into artificial intelligence to have it decide for us. So it's all about, so I actually don't personally care what coin I trade, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as long as the bot can trade and make more of that. That's an additional cash flow to the asset. So the more that I have, the more cash flow I can generate from that, from what the bot can do and perform. Of course, it is volatile, and of course you can lose, but there's another strategy, a percentage. If you're always losing 10%, how many times can you lose before you're actually cleaned out, right? So so always use percentages, so the bot takes care of all that. So you can lose 10%, you go to 90 and then lose that, you get $9, lose 9, and you it starts to diminish, but you always can get in, and you can always stay in the game, because you can never run out of money, because it's always a percentage of a percentage that gets smaller and smaller, or if it gains, then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, right? So all right, well, that's all I have for today. I'd say I think just like any other thing, I think someone needs to send you some Bitcoin, or just buy $100 on Coinbase and see what happens, and then start from there. But I know you probably got a couple million. You probably drop $1 million or so on it, and help everyone else out, kind of thing. And yeah, I think you'll be all right. I'd say that it should be done regularly. It shouldn't be a big lump sum because it's so volatile. So if you are gonna buy and get into crypto, Kevin, if you could plan on doing 1 million, maybe just do 100K every month, or whenever you see a big dip, buy it. You see a big dip, buy it again. And then if it doesn't dip, then just buy it once a month, once a week. Just kind of disperse that over time. And then I think on the long term, you'll see that it'll overall gravitate towards. I mean, it hits 350,000. Like you're set. You already got in at 50K or 40K. So, all right, we'll talk to you. And thanks for all the videos that you've been creating. And it's been great to be a part of this YouTube community. I'll talk to you then.